1888. A thick, yellow fog chokes the streets of London. In the heart of Whitechapel, a shadow is moving. He doesn't want your money. He wants your life, and he wants it with surgical precision. This is the story of the world's most famous unidentified monster. He taunted the police, terrorized an empire, and then vanished into thin air. Tonight, we unmask the ghost. This is Jack the Ripper. London, 1888. The heart of the British Empire. But in the district of Whitechapel, the sun never seems to rise. This is a world of crushing poverty, gin-soaked alleys, and a labyrinth of shadows where the law rarely ventures. For over a century, one name has echoed through these streets, a name that defined the very concept of a serial killer. He was never caught. He was never named. He was only known by the signature on a taunting letter sent to the police. Jack the Ripper. Tonight, we step back into the gaslit terror of Victorian London to decode the crimes that changed criminal profiling forever. Vault of Shadows is opening the file on the ghost of Whitechapel. The terror began on August 31st, 1888. In the early morning hours, the body of Marianne Nichols was found in Bucks Row. The brutality was unprecedented. This wasn't a simple robbery. It was a surgical desecration. Just over a week later, Annie Chapman was found. The pattern was emerging. The victims were all unfortunates, women struggling to survive on the street's end. The killer possessed a disturbing knowledge of human anatomy. Panic gripped London. The Whitechapel Vigilance Committee was formed. The police, led by Inspector Frederick Aberline, were outmatched. In an era before fingerprinting, DNA, or radio communication, the Ripper moved like a phantom. He didn't just kill, he vanished into the fog of the East End, leaving the greatest police force in the world searching for a shadow. September 30th, 1888. The night that would go down in history as the double event. Within the span of an hour, two women, Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes, were murdered in different locations. Stride was found first. It is believed the killer was interrupted before he could finish his ritual. Furious, he sought another victim. Catherine Eddowes was found in Mitre Square, her body mutilated with terrifying precision. On this night, the killer left his only physical clue, a blood-stained piece of Eddowes' apron found under a graffito on Golston Street. The message read, "The Jewess are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." Was it a distraction? A clue? Or the ramblings of a madman? The Metropolitan Police Commissioner ordered it erased before sunrise. Fearing a race riot and with it, a potential key to the mystery was lost forever. The name Jack the Ripper didn't come from the police or the press, it came from the killer himself. On September 27th, the Central News Agency received a letter written in red ink. "Dear Boss, I am down on whores, and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand job, the last job was I gave the lady no time to squeal. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." Then came the most terrifying piece of mail in history. The From Hell letter. Accompanying it was a small box containing half a preserved human kidney. The writer claimed to have eaten the other half. The psychological warfare was working. The Ripper had transformed from a local murderer into a global superstar of terror. The media frenzy was the first of its kind, creating the true crime obsession we know today. November 9th, 1888. The climax of the horror. Unlike the other victims found in public alleys, Mary Jean Kelly was murdered inside her own room at 13 Miller's Court. This gave the Ripper what he always wanted: time and privacy. When the landlord's assistant went to collect rent, he looked through the window and saw a sight so gruesome it haunts historians to this day. The room was a slaughterhouse. This was the Ripper's masterpiece of depravity. After this, the murders abruptly stopped. No more victims, no more letters. The monster simply ... retired. Or did he die? Or was he finally locked away for a different crime? Who was he? Over 100 suspects have been named over the last century. Montague John Druitt, a barrister who committed suicide shortly after the last murder. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber suffering from delusions who was identified by a witness, though the evidence remains controversial. Francis Tamblady, an American quack doctor with a hatred for women and a collection of anatomical specimens. Even members of the royal family and famous painters like Walter Sickert have been accused, but the truth is, we will likely never know. Jack the Ripper remains the ultimate cold case because he represents our deepest fear, that evil can walk among us, look us in the eye, and disappear into the night without a name. Whitechapel has changed. The fog has lifted, but if you walk those alleys at night, you can still feel the chill of the autumn of terror. The shadow of Whitechapel is still there, watching from the darkness of history.